Welcome to Spotlight New England. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey McClelland.
And I'm Ashley Erling.
All right, so what time of year is this now?
Deep in the gift-giving season.
Yes, it is. It is.
Very deep in the gift-giving season. So I found a study.
Okay.
And now I'm going to go through, because you know what I figured out?
What did Dr. Darrell tell us? Who was the sample on the study?
I know. But you know what I can do? Here,
let's see.
Found it.
She found it.
In
There
my
she
chat.
is. She was
Okay.
very worried about this email.
So, well, because I had sent it to you,
Yeah.
and then we
Didn't
couldn't pull it
refresh
up,
to my
whatever.
phone.
But it was talking about trends of like how and why, like what and who people are giving to. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like who in your life you're giving to.
Yep.
And so this survey from Bank of America.
All right, so it's reputable.
It's reputable. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
just like a random, was saying that 38% of people are limiting gifts to immediate family
Okay.
and closest friends.
Okay.
Who do you get? I mean, you have a big family.
Yeah,
so,
we do. You know, I love to, well, first of all, you know, I like to shop local.
Yeah.
People, and I like to give gifts that are like meaningful.
Yeah.
So I don't mind giving to a lot of people, but when I say that, like we'll bake like cookies, or my husband will make like jams or jellies, and we'll give to people. So
that's true. I would just pull from the backyard food company stock on that one, and be like,
you know, it's a little bit easier with
here's
him.
our cranberry relish,
and he loves to cook, so he doesn't mind like whipping something up. But so we don't mind. Like I'll do stuff for like the neighbors, and you know, just things like that. But in terms of like buying things, it really is just kind of like our immediate family.
Right.
It's too difficult right now with the economy the way it is. I just had this conversation with my sister-in-law, Matt's sister, and she's out of work right now. And she was like, you know, she goes, I feel bad. I'm like, don't feel bad. I'm like, it's not like that. This should not define our relationship.
And also, like, you know, at the ages we are, at the ages your kids are, I think that, you know, they can be understanding of like you no longer get like a big gift every single year.
Absolutely. We just had this conversation with the boys,
right? Because I mean, your boys are older. I'm sure Victoria still, you know, she's still young
asking
enough
for like certain things, but with the boys they get it. Like even my son William is like, Mom, I don't need anything.
I know.
I'm like, you got to give me something.
William's so easy.
You got to give me something. Whereas you know Benjamin had everything outlined via like electronics and clothing and
I like
nice
it.
and simple. But he also was like looking for things that were deals.
What are things that like? What are they asking for? What are they asking for? What do boys ask for?
Well, Benjamin asked for an iPad.
Okay.
He thought that would be great for college now. And then they asked for clothing. That was our trip to the mall.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, like my sons are so big, I don't know what size they are.
Oh, really?
So
you don't know, even though.
No, and I feel like silly saying that, but I didn't know if they were like a 30 or 32 lengthwise.
Okay.
Because they're, you know,
so tall.
They're men.
Yeah.
And so, Alex and I went to the mall. We did like a try on as if he was 10 again.
Yeah.
And I kept throwing jeans at him. And like that's what he needs for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not buying them right now. Right. But now I know.
Right.
So it's like kind of like maybe like anticlimactic.
Yeah, I know. But it's nice to have something to open, you know, on the holiday.
They really did. He wanted like an Abercrombie jacket. I mean, there were like specific things, but they also know they have a budget.
Right.
Like it doesn't exceed this.
I mean, it must be difficult with a bigger family. You do have a bigger family. There's, you know, you want to make sure everyone gets kind of equal, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, just to make sure. I grew up across the street from an only child. And we were super duper close. But I remember going to her house for Christmas. I mean, we didn't grow up with a ton of money. You know, my parents were teachers. And like it was everything, like everything that you can imagine she had under the tree. And I remember just being like excited about like my like Benetton rugby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And you know, but I do remember learning at a very young age, like, but my parents also did experiences with us.
So I was just going to say the other thing that it found was that a lot of people are trying to give more experiential.
Which I think is great.
Gifts, which I do, because it's on the one hand, you know, we do have some little ones at home, so I feel like I want them to open something. Just to have something to open, but at the same time, they will more so remember
an experience.
Yeah. So
definitely,
I think that's like a good trend for people to try and follow, like something that you could do with somebody or give to somebody that they'll do and remember. I feel like that's.
Like, we're going to do, my sister and I are going to do a wreath making class with my mom.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do the Blythewall tea.
Yeah.
And that's like my mother's Christmas gift. That's all she wants. That's all she needs. She wants time with us.
And you guys do the tea every year.
We do it every year. Yeah. I really do. I love it. It's like a nice tradition. And I hope Victoria like continues to do it like with, you know, me when she's older.
Yeah.
Even when she has kids. That's where like I go in my head.
Right.
We'll see.
Just tell her to. She will.
She will.
Well, we're in the holiday spirit today. We have a great guest.
I'm so excited for this guest. She's coming up next. I've known her almost pretty much my whole entire life.
I know. You were just telling me that.
Yeah, this has been a long one. So stick around. We'll be right back with Spotlight New England. Welcome back to Spotlight New England. We're excited for our next guest. You know, I'm someone that loves to embrace the movies, especially during the holiday season. That's always one of my favorite times, just to kind of like, you know, lose myself and just sit down and just chill. But this is special for me because my next guest, we have Eirene Donohue, who's a screenwriter. But the cool thing is that we've grown up together. We went to college together. Yes. And you have taken your career and you are just flying high. I mean, you have created, I'm going to read some of the things, the titles that you have. Just the titles alone have me. Okay, ready? So you have A Tourist Guide to Love, which starred Rachel Lee Cook, which was huge. It was amazing on Netflix. Yep. And that was like top 10 for how long?
It was actually the #1 movie in the world on Netflix when it premiered.
That's amazing.
Insane.
How cool.
Insane. But she also has A Sugar and Spice Holiday, which was a great one. Christmas in the Spotlight, which I loved. A Christmas Spark. And you had Jane Seymour in that one, right?
Yeah.
And then the 12 Days of Christmas Eve with Kelsey Grammer. Yes. I mean, and then Drink, Slay, Love.
My teen vampire movie.
Yes. Like,
love it.
This is like this list alone is unbelievable, but I want you to take us to the beginning because when we knew each other, I knew that you had traveled after college, but I didn't know that you had really like set your sights on doing stuff like this.
Well, I mean, growing up when I was real little, I always loved movies. So me and my dad used to watch movies all the time. I wanted to be an actress when I was younger, and then when I was in high school, I wanted to be a director. I used to work at American Video in the shopping center. Remember that? It was like the 90s. I was going to be Quentin Tarantino, and then went to Brown with Audrey, and I didn't really like their film department. It was a little bit too like critical theory based.
Okay.
And so at that point, I started just doing other types of writing. I always knew I wanted to be a writer, but I did a lot of memoir, a lot of like short stories, things like that. And then I started traveling after college and went to Vietnam, met my future husband while I was backpacking there, this Canadian surfer who was supposed to be my holiday fling.
And that's a rom-com right there,
that actually
right?
is sort of the basis of Tourist Guide to Love. Like
Love
that was one of the inspirations. And then just kept traveling. We were in Indonesia. We taught English in Japan. We were in South Africa. So bounced around a lot. And that whole time was like not writing anything, but I'm going to be a writer someday. But I just like to think of it as research.
Yeah,
gathering stories.
I fully support that because you can't force yourself if your head's not there.
I was researching life, coming up with stories, and so then when we ended up moving back to Rhode Island.
Yep.
And when I was around 30, and I was bartending and tutoring and nannying and freelance writing and all the things that you do to, try to be a writer, so doing all the odd jobs. And my husband, for his work, he was delivering sailboats, and he was gone for 6 weeks, and I was like, why have I never written a screenplay? This was always my first love, but it just seemed so out of reach. Like, what, I'm going to move to LA and like get an agent? Like, how does that even happen?
Right.
But I was like, whatever, I'm just going to do it. So I got some books on how to write screenplays, and I read a bunch of screenplays, and I wrote a screenplay and rewrote it a couple times. And then I entered it into this competition called the Nickel Fellowship, which is run by the Academy Awards, and it's like the most prestigious sort of amateur screenwriting competition. And so I entered it into that, and at the same time my husband and I had decided that we weren't really happy with our life, so we sold everything we owned and we got into our 73 VW van and spent the next year and a half driving around the US and Canada.
This is amazing.
I know.
Story.
Some more research, right? And through that, and while that was happening, I made it through to the semifinals of the Nickel Fellowship. And then through that, got some connections, and then a friend, Michelle, passed it along to someone in her company, and then they passed it along to someone else who became my manager. And
Unbelievable.
He was like, if you want to do this, you got to move to LA. And I was like, okay, done. Like, I'm parked down the street, basically. I'm parked down the street in my van. Okay, I live here now. So that was about 15 years ago. And I was really fortunate, like I started selling within the year and sold a couple pitches, was hired to write a movie for MTV, sold a TV pilot called Borington.
Oh my gosh!
to ABC Studios.
I wonder what that's after.
About a half Vietnamese woman who moves home to live with her in her 30s to live with her Vietnamese mom and her Boston Irish dad, and starts dating her. Or there's there's 3 other characters who have also moved home in their 30s to live with their parents. But it's boring. It's Borington. And unfortunately, that did not get made. But
it sounds great.
Yeah, super fun. They break into the country club.
Of course they do.
To go skinny dipping in the pool. Not that I ever did.
Not that you ever did that.
No. But it was so like then through the years, just I was really fortunate. I just kept working, selling. There were some long dry stretches in between, and then. God, it must have been like 5. This was right before COVID, I guess. So, like 5 years ago, I hadn't sold anything in a while, and I read this article about how between Lifetime and Hallmark and Netflix at that time, they made 100 Christmas movies, and I was like, I want to write a Christmas movie. I love Christmas movies, and this is a great, market for it, and so. I went into Lifetime and pitched them the idea for a Sugar and Spice Holiday, and that was my first Christmas movie.
It was the first Christmas movie.
Yeah, and then since then have written a lot more and have a great relationship with Lifetime. I also work with Hallmark and now with Netflix as well, and multiple other companies, a lot of things that are sort of in development, or I have a couple scripts that I've written sort of on my own that we take out to different producers and studios and are trying to sell them or will be trying to sell them.
I have like goosebumps just talking about it.
It is so cool. Like we love these movies.
We
eat them up. Like we love them. That's a lot of movies to write in that amount of time though, because COVID was 5 years ago, but you've written so many things in the past 5 years.
Yeah, I mean I've been really fortunate to keep selling, but I'm a really fast writer, so I feel like it's not. I could write. Like
to me, I'm like, oh my god!
All the ideas that I've pitched and that haven't been bought and that I haven't been able to write, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, there's so many of those, and it still feels like really slow. I'm like, okay, I want to just like, I'm like the type of person that has like a million ideas.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll sit there and be like, oh, that could be a movie, and that could be a movie, and that could be a movie.
What is that process like? Because I feel like, it's one thing to have the idea, but then, you really have to execute it and take it all the way through and, have plot points and an ending. And what is the process like?
Like every writer has a very different process.
Yeah, what's your process like?
I was like, this is my process. Sleeping on the couch. It is actually. My husband will come in and I'll be like laying in the couch, like looking at the ceiling, and he'll be like, "Are you working?"
He's like, "She's
yes,
creating.
I am working. This is my process." If sleeping sometimes is part of my process. It's all, and everything's research.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna definitely be.
Everything is research, and it is. I literally will come up with ideas. Just someone will be telling me a story, or I will read a headline of something, or I'll just be like in a store and see something happen and be like, "Oh, that could." And I also like to start with titles a lot of the times. I love coming up with titles. So like friends who are writers, whenever they need a title, I'm like, "Tell me." I was like, "What it's about?" I was like, "I'll give you like 10 titles."
I love that.
Sometimes I'll just come up with a title, and then I'll create the concept sort of just around
from there
that title. Yeah.
Wow.
So it comes from all different places. Sometimes you are pitching directly to the network, and they're looking for a certain type of. They're like, we want one with a magical element, and that like this, and like a lead in their 20s, or maybe it's like a high school romance, or it's a destination. So I'll come up with ideas and give them a couple called log lines, which are just the concepts basically of the movie. And then if they like that, then I will expand it into a pitch, which is sort of like a short story version. And depending on who you're pitching to, it's like it could be 2 to 3 pages, or it could be like 10 to 15 pages. Like sometimes it's like the full thing.
Wow.
And sometimes it's just like more of a like synopsis. Like, okay, like and you come up with the characters. And so for me, in terms of my process, I'll have the concept, and then I come up with the characters, and then I come up with a story, because I don't know what happens unless I know who the people are.
Yeah.
So like I have to know who they are before I know what they do, because like the choices that if this character is coming from a place of, I don't know, insecurity, or they just came off of a breakup, and they're a teacher and their dream is to be, I don't know, like a singer. That's a very different
I see what you mean.
line.
Yeah.
And the romantic interest would be very different than someone who's like super confident, like has always gotten everything they wanted. You know, like, so I always start with the character and then build out from there. And then it's just like structuring, you know, especially for Christmas movies.
Yeah.
You know, or romantic comedies, you know, people might criticize them for being formulaic, but it's more, I think of it more like a recipe. So, like, the same way that a chocolate chip cookie can be a Toll House cookie, or it can be a crumble cookie, or it can be, a homemade cookie,
That's
or
a
it can
perfect
be
way
a
to put
store-bought
it.
one, you know, like, so depending on the different ingredients that you throw into it, it will be a different type of movie. It will be, and also, like, I respect that some people like the Toll House cookie.
Yeah.
So if I'm writing a movie that is for a more general audience, that is maybe a bit softer and that is a little bit more generic, like, I try to come with the best version of that, as opposed to like the one that's going to be like the quirky indie comedy, and like the that has a little bit more depth and a little bit more flavor and a little bit more diverse or something like that. So that I think that audiences, I just try to respect whatever audience is there and understand that it might not be for my taste, but that
you respect that.
And sometimes sometimes I want the Toll House, you know?
Right.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I love writing for Hallmark because I watch Hallmark, and I love the fact that sometimes that it is softer, that I do know what's going to happen.
I think that people like to watch them because it's a comfort.
Yeah,
in this
absolutely.
In this day and age, with everything going on, I do feel like that is what relaxes a lot of people.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Is that feel good?
Yeah,
like,
there's so few feel good movies.
and, I mean, are you a hopeless romantic?
Oh yeah.
See,
Like,
I love that.
I love like everything I write is always built around, often like thematically, just all the different types of love, you know, like romantic love or familial love or friendship love.
Yeah.
I like to write like female friendship movies or female centered stuff. And I love like the idea that a movie that I wrote could make someone just sort of like feel good or like lift them up, or that would
Believe in love.
and like celebrate love and all of those things. Like, love is the most powerful force in the world, and it's like the point. Right? Like, I feel like it's just the purpose of everything is like to express love, to receive love, and to, you know, do what you can to encourage people to live lead with love.
I love that. Can I ask you, so what did it feel like? I mean, any one of these, but what did it feel like to see what you have written, these characters come to life? Like, is it everything that you wanted it to be?
Not always.
Like, I'm just gonna be honest.
One of the things about being a screenwriter, especially in features, it's different in TV where you have more control, and the TV writers are also the producers of it. In feature film writing, you are the lowest. You're lowest of the pyramid. So like, you can send in a script and they're like, peace
mess
out.
with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
like
no way.
I have no say in who the directors. I have no say in who the actors are. I have no say in any of it. If they hire someone to rewrite me, which they have in the past, like then they can change whatever they want.
Wow.
I mean, I've been hired to rewrite other people's scripts. It's a part of the industry, and it is horrible sometimes, like, because you're just like, oh my god, like, that's not, you ruined that scene. But you're just like, I mean, again, try to be grateful for the fact that it got made and that the majority of the vision is there.
Right,
Even
right,
if
right,
the scene's a little different, or like, but just that this story and these characters, for the most part, are actually what I wanted them to be.
Gotcha.
At least that's been my experience with the ones that I've gotten made. Although I have friends who, like, I mean, where it is completely
different.
that is nothing what I wanted, because a lot of the movies that you'll see there'll be a bunch of different writers listed, and they have rewritten it, and you don't even see the ones that didn't get credit. You know, like some of the bigger blockbusters have had like 8 or 10 writers come through and punching it up. So it's a very collaborative process, and you have. Yeah, and unless you become a producer on your projects, which I'm trying to be on certain projects, then you don't have a say. Okay. And so for me, I have to be very like,
I put it out in the world,
you know, and like, oh, that's not who I would have cast, and that's not who I would have. That's not how I read that scene. Like, that was funnier in my head, or you know, like things like that. But then you're just sort of like, but then people. And also,
like it.
Well, the other thing is that, like, or they don't, and that's okay.
And that's okay too,
because there's movies that I like that other people don't like, or there's movies that I hate that people I love and respect are like, that's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
What is wrong? Or they're like, that was so funny, and I'm like, no, it wasn't.
Not at all.
Do you have a favorite of your own movie?
I don't know. I have so many favorites. It really sort of depends on the mood. I mean, for classic, like, the go-tos for me whenever like Princess Bride, The Goonies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And for Christmas movies, Elf is my.
Oh, we love Elf.
Elf is like my gold standard of all. I like have this one script that we're working on, I'm trying to finish it and get it out there. That is like my attempt to create the next Elf. Like I feel like it's been a long time since there's been that like big sort of magical,
it has been.
like family, you know, big screen Christmas movie. So that's my dream.
I could talk to Eirene for.
This is so interesting to me.
So next time something's out, you need to come here immediately. We have to have you. Not even a question. But you know what I love about you too is that, you know, there's people in life that it's doable. Like it happened. Like, you know, there's people that are celebrities. Like, wow, like what was it like? Like I know you grew up in a small town. I know you worked your butt off. Like it's possible to make a dream come true.
I had no connections. I had no into the industry. I had no formal training in it. Everything I did was self-taught. I started doing it when I was living in Rhode Island.
Yep.
You know, like anyone can do. You have to be persistent. You have to work really, really hard. It's constant. Like you have one hit, even if you do sell one thing and you think, oh, this is it. Like no, you have to
keep going.
I have at least 10 projects in different stages of development or writing, and I have a meeting this afternoon with another producer to pitch another idea. I had a meeting yesterday. Like you are constantly like, oh, here's some ideas, and maybe this will happen, and maybe this will happen, and maybe this will sell, and maybe this gets made. But it's like you constantly have to keep at it, and you have to deal with a lot of rejection.
Yeah,
you have to deal with a lot of disappointment, and then you just have to be like, okay, like
it's okay.
move on and just keep going and going. And so right now the industry is rough. I'm not gonna lie, like it's pretty rough out there. But I also have like a lot of faith in my own ability to just be like, okay, I'm just gonna figure it out and keep writing. I'm also writing a novel. I am trying to like figure out other stuff. So it's like I'm writing a novel. I'm doing some other projects. So one of my movies actually, I don't have any new movies out. But Christmas in the Spotlight, which was the Taylor Swift fan fiction Christmas movie about a pop star that falls in love with a pro football player, is going to be airing on Netflix this year.
Oh, okay. So we have
starting
to
in December. So
that'll
open it up to
make sure
a bigger audience.
You have to stop by next time there's something else, because I literally could talk to you for an hour about this stuff.
And I wrote the songs on that too.
Oh my God!
I write songs.
We need an hour-long show.
We do. This is too short. Stick around. We have more to come with Spotlight New England.
The holidays.
Speaking of the holidays,
let's check out some of the hot holiday toys that people are looking for this year.
Ready to race?
I'm ready.
Amazing.
In this year's race for top toys, Marissa Silva is just the person to give you a head start.
Pull the trigger on the back. Oh, wow.
The Toy Insider's editor-in-chief shared some favorites, like this $30 Hyperburst set. Kids build the track and battle on it, knocking mini cars off.
I love that two kids can play at the same time too, like right out of the box, which is awesome.
This season, with Wicked for Good popping into theaters, expect tie-ins including this Glinda vanity kit to cast a spell for many kids. Say the magic words,
you've been Glindified.
And it transforms.
This whole thing pops up, and kids can put in all their little accessories.
Oh my gosh, my daughters
do their
would
makeup.
love this.
It's really cute, really interactive and engaging.
Another highlight,
Pick a color for me.
this Crayola tool that turns almost any marker into an airbrush.
Washable, wireless, nice and easy, and $19.99.
Many shoppers are hunting for deals, but Silva says if you need something specific, waiting for sales means taking a risk.
When it comes to sales, we're always looking right around Black Friday, but just keep in mind that the stock will already start to wane around that time. So it's game time right now.
While big ticket items like the Nintendo Switch 2 cost hundreds of dollars, you don't have to sacrifice fun if you're on a budget.
It's always about choosing options that are within your budget that offer really big play value.
Take this simple $20 game, Marshmallow Madness, that makes anyone who plays look ridiculous.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
One sweet idea to help your family laugh all season long.
That's it. The holidays are here. You better get shopping now. Thanks
love it.
for joining us today on Spotlight New England. We'll see you next time.